Okay, real talk. I got a question for you. And before you answer it, I need you to stop lying. Not to me, to yourself. Have you ever had somebody you absolutely, positively, and without question had no damn business touching, but you did? And now you know what their lips feel like? You know what it feels like when they pull you close. You've been in their bed, they've been in yours. Clothes have come off. You've spent the night. You've woken up beside each other. There's been kissing and touching and foreplay. Hell, toys may or may not have entered the group chat. But somehow, after all of that, you still have the audacity to say, but we never actually had sex. Baby, come a little bit closer. Because tonight, we need to discuss the amount of work the phrase, we haven't had sex, is doing in some of these situations. Because technically, maybe you haven't, but sexually, emotionally, intimately, yeah, y'all have been busy. And the craziest part, you keep stopping right before the one boundary you swore you wouldn't cross. Not because you don't want to. Oh no. Oh, you want to. And that's exactly where there's a problem. Welcome to the Corner with Jay after dark. Turn the lights down, pour your little something, get comfortable, and maybe wait, don't text anybody until this episode is over. Because depending on who you've been trying not to think about tonight, I might be a very bad influence. Now, before we get started, you already know what time it is. This is The Corner with Jay After Dark. This series contains mature conversations intended for adults about sex, intimacy, relationships, attraction, desire, lust, temptation, and boundaries. Everything we're discussing tonight assumes consenting adults. This is not therapy. This is not relationship counseling. And I am absolutely not responsible for any you up, I miss you, or come on over. Text sent during or immediately following this episode. That is between you, your phone, and the Lord. And based on tonight's topic, you might need all three. Let's get into it.
The lights may be low, but the truth is fully visible. Pull up a chair, let the silence speak. We say out loud what we hide all week. No pretty little answers, no rehearsed remarks, just grown conversations after dark. Everyone has a truth. Every choice leaves a mark. So bring your honesty into the room when the lights go dark. After dark, we tell it like it is. Honest desire, no hiding from it. Grown conversations, real consequences. The corner with Jay after dark. The lights may be low, but the truth is fully visible. After dark.
Okay, I need to start right here because people love this sentence. We haven't had sex. Okay, what exactly do you mean by that? Because sometimes people say that and mean we've never been sexually intimate. Cool, that's clear. But then there are other people, and you know who you are. You say, we haven't had sex. Meanwhile, you spent the night together more than once. You shared a bed. You've kissed until somebody had to remember why this was supposedly a bad idea. You've touched each other. You've explored each other. You know what turns each other on. You've seen each other without clothes. Foreplay has happened. Maybe toys have gotten involved. And after all of that, you roll over, looking up at the ceiling, and think to yourself, well, at least we didn't have sex. What? At this point, you're not avoiding sexual intimacy. You've created an entire sexual relationship with one very specific restriction. Hey, and listen, there is nothing wrong with two consenting adults deciding where their sexual boundaries are. You can stop whenever you want. You can change your mind whenever you want. You don't owe somebody access to the rest of your body because you've already given them access to part of it. That's not what we're talking about tonight. I'm talking about when the boundary isn't necessarily about what you're comfortable doing. It's about what you're comfortable admitting. Because saying we've never had sex sounds a whole lot cleaner than we've been sexually involved for months, but there's one particular thing we refuse to do because that's the thing we've decided would make this real. Somebody just get uncomfortable. Good, because we're just getting started. Now, let's add the ingredient that makes this whole situation dangerous. Because this isn't simply somebody you're attracted to. This person is off limits. Why? Hmm, maybe they're connected to somebody you know. Maybe there's someone or your friend's ex. Shit, maybe they're your ex. Maybe mixing sex into this relationship would destroy your friendship. There could be a professional boundary at play. Maybe one of you isn't emotionally available. Maybe there's a complicated situation at play. Or maybe pursuing this thing openly would require decisions neither one of you is ready to make. Or maybe both of you know damn well that if you ever completely give yourselves permission to explore this type of relationship, ooh, somebody gonna catch feelings. Whatever the reason, you've both agreed we cannot go there. Except you keep going everywhere around there. And that's the part that gets me. Y'all drew a line in the sand and proceeded to build a luxury condominium directly on top of that bitch. Shit, you didn't cross the line. Congratulations. You live there. And every time you're together, you're testing that same line. One more kiss. Oh, one more touch. One more night. One more. And baby, you can stay, but we're not doing anything. Girl, bye. Okay. And then here comes morning. You laying beside somebody you're not supposed to want. Their arm is around you. Your clothes are somewhere other than where they started that evening. And the both of y'all are still clinging to. We didn't cross the line. At some point, we need to talk. What exactly are you protecting yourself from, love? Now, let's talk about why this shit can feel so intense, y'all. Sometimes desire gets stronger when you tell yourself, damn, I can't have this person. Because now it's not simply attraction, it's anticipation, it's restraint, it's curiosity, it's fantasy, it's tension. And every time you're together, there is something unfinished hanging in the air. And sometimes unfinished business is sexier than getting exactly what you wanted. Because you haven't gotten the ending yet. You keep approaching it, then stopping. Approaching it, stopping. And now every little thing feels amplified. A look lasts too long. A hug doesn't feel like a regular hug anymore. They sit too close. Their hands land somewhere completely innocent. And suddenly you're very aware that this person has hands. They say your name in a certain way, and you start thinking, oh shit, don't you start. Meanwhile, another part of you was saying, please do. That's forbidden fruit. And let me interject here for a minute. My ladies, y'all know exactly what I mean when I say that other part, say please start, because sister girl will betray you every time that man get near you. Just saying. And it's not always the person themselves creating all that heat. Sometimes it's the fact that you've told yourself, I cannot have them. And apparently, the human brain hears that and says, oh, we can't. Really? Now, they're all we're going to think about. Okay, since this is after dark, I'm going to tell y'all something that I probably have absolutely no damn business telling you. But here we go. There is somebody in my life right now, and no, I'm not telling you who. Don't ask me. Don't investigate. Don't start going through my friends list playing detective. Don't be trying to go through old videos, pictures, podcasts, looking for clues. Mind your business. But, y'all, there is this one particular man. Lord have mercy. Okay, let me choose my words carefully. Because if circumstances were different, and if there was no complications, no questions to answer, and no tomorrow to think about, and I could get exactly what I want in one night, man, let me tell y'all, shit, that man can turn me every which way but loose and have his entire way with me for that one night. Shit, there, I said it. And I am not ashamed either. Some of y'all just said straight up. Look, I said it. Ooh, his voice, goddamn. Ooh, okay, y'all, hold on. Let me refocus. Okay. Sometimes you're attracted to somebody and it's cute. And you think, okay, damn, he handsome. That one man who says two damn words and suddenly you are questioning your commitment to good decision making. And baby, this man right here, ooh, if we are being honest tonight, he knows how to talk to me. And that is the dangerous part, y'all. And sometimes it ain't even necessarily what he says, it's how he says it. It's the tone, the confidence, the energy behind it. And I'm sitting there, trying to be responsible, be grown, while another part of my body is apparently holding an emergency meeting. Like, girl, ladies, responsibility has been canceled for the evening. Now, listen to me. Who that man? He knows who he is. That's all I'm going to say. So if he hears this, he knows I'm talking about him. And yes, I said what I said and I meant what I said about that one night. Anyway, now, listen. Because this is actually the important part to tonight's conversation. Wanting somebody does not mean you have to act on it, okay? Desire and decision are two different things. I can definitely acknowledge the attraction. I can acknowledge the vibe between us. I can admit that desire does exist and has been existing. And I can sit right here behind this microphone and tell you, yes, Given the right circumstances, I absolutely would. Okay? And still understand that reality comes with boundaries, consequences, complications, decisions. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend I'm not above lust. Shit, please, I'm grown. There are some people you look at and think, they're attractive. And then there's that one person, who makes you think, Lord, please don't ever let this man catch me at the right time with the wrong amount of self control. Because, whew, don't judge me. Actually, you can judge me, y'all. Just do it quietly. Because I said what I said. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why forbidden fruit hits different. Now, we need to move on. Can't even get it out. We need to move on before I say too damn much and blur his name out. So, here's where it gets interesting. Because you've established a final boundary. You can kiss, you can touch, you can spend the night, you can explore. You can have intimate moments that would absolutely make your grandmother clutch her pearls. But there's a stopping point, and somehow you've both honored it every single time. Now, somebody's listening and thinking, Jay, that takes restraint. Yeah, it does. It does. But I have another question. Are you practicing restraint? And no, I don't mean the restraints that man tie you down to the bed with. I mean restraint. Holding on and not crossing the boundary. Or are you postponing the inevitable? Because there's a difference. Because see, restraint says, I know I want you, but I've decided this isn't something I'm going to pursue. Postponement says, not tonight. Those are not the same sentence. Because if every encounter ends with, we need to stop. We can't do this. This is going too far. Ooh, we said we weren't going there. And then 3 days later, your ass is back in the same damn bed. Come on now. We may need to discuss your definition of stopping. Because y'all are not stopping. Y'all ain't doing nothing but taking intermission breaks, okay? Now, if you're not already, let's get uncomfortable. Sometimes that final boundary, it isn't actually about sex. It's about guilt. Because you've decided one particular act is where the moral line exists. Everything before it, complicated, messy, questionable, but somehow manageable. But that final step, that's the thing you couldn't explain away. That's the thing that would make you look at yourself differently the next morning. So you don't do it. And technically, you can continue saying, we've never slept together. Except, you have. Literally. You've slept beside them. You've woken up together. You've had nights that were more intimate than some people's entire relationships. You know their touch, you know their kiss, you know how they react to you, they know how you react to them. So maybe the question isn't, have we had sex? Maybe the question is, why do I need to believe that what we've been doing doesn't count? Because, baby, if you have to put your clothes back on before you can explain why it doesn't count, oh, it counts. I'll give you a second to let that settle in. Here's another thing nobody wants to talk about. Intimacy isn't defined by one sexual act. You can become incredibly sexually familiar with somebody without ever crossing the particular boundary you've labeled as going all the way. And that's why this situation gets dangerous. Because you may think you're protecting yourself emotionally by refusing that final step. Meanwhile, intimacy has already walked through the front door, taken his shoes off, and put leftovers in your refrigerator. You've already attached to the way this person makes you feel. You're already anticipating seeing them. You already know what happens when you're alone together. You already have memories that nobody else knows about. You already have secrets. And secrets create one kind of intimacy. Now, there's another kind of secret intimacy too. The kind that happens right in front of everybody. You could be sitting at a table, surrounded by people, having a completely normal conversation. And underneath that table, there's a hand resting on your leg that has absolutely no innocent reason for being there. And nobody else knows. Nobody sees it. Everybody is laughing and talking like normal, while the two of you are having an entirely different conversation without saying a damn word. And somehow you're supposed to keep a straight face. Excuse me? Or it's that touch when they walk past you. That hand that lingers just a little longer than necessary. That little brush against you that could have been accidental. Except both of you know damn well it wasn't. Oh, and there's that look afterwards. Oh, you know that look like, yeah, I did that. Sir, please go somewhere. Because now you're standing in a room full of people pretending absolutely nothing happened while your entire nervous system is like, oh, something happened. Y'all, and what about them secret kisses? Oh, the ones that happen because everybody else walked into another room. Or you catch 30 seconds alone in a hallway. One quick kiss, then another. And then suddenly somebody hears footsteps and both of you separate like nothing to see here. Walking back into the room looking innocent as hell. Meanwhile, both of you know exactly what just happened around the corner. Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started on the car. Because sometimes you haven't even made it inside yet. You're sitting there parked, talking. One kiss turns into another. Somebody says, I really need to go. And 20 minutes later, y'all still in that damn car. Or maybe you've headed somewhere together. And that anticipation starts before you even arrive. A look, a touch, a little comment said low enough that only you can hear it. And now you're expected to walk into wherever you're going and act normal? Absolutely not. Because sometimes foreplay isn't about how much clothing comes off. Sometimes it's anticipation. It's knowing what that person is thinking about without them saying it. It's knowing exactly what a particular look means, and y'all know what I'm talking about. It's being across a crowded room and having somebody look at you in a way that makes you think, don't you start that shit up in here. And they know exactly what they're doing. Y'all, that is intimacy too. Because now y'all have developed this private language. It's a look, it's a touch, it's a kiss, it's a signal. In moments nobody else even knows happened. And sometimes the secrecy itself becomes part of the attraction. Especially when everybody around you is like, oh, damn, they just friends. Oh, baby, no. Baby, friends don't need a recovery period after hanging out, okay? So, let's get into the morning after. And this might actually be more intimate than the sexual tension itself. Because nighttime can be blamed on desire. Sometimes it can be blamed on alcohol. You never know. Morning makes you look at what you've created. Hey, you're awake now, maybe slightly hungover, but the adrenaline is gone. You're laying beside this person. Maybe they're sleeping. Maybe you're both pretending to sleep because nobody wants to be the first person to acknowledge, shit, we did it again. And here's the problem, it feels so good. And it's not just physically, emotionally. You like waking up next to them. You like that closeness. You like that private little world that exists when it's just the two of you. And that might scare you more than sex ever could. Maybe sex can theoretically be just sex. But what happens when you want breakfast afterward? What happens when you don't want them to leave? What happens when their side of the bed starts feeling familiar? What happens when you catch yourself thinking, I could get used to this. Ooh, see, now we're in trouble because maybe the boundary was never protecting your body. Maybe it was supposed to protect your heart. And baby, that shit might have already sailed. Let's make it even messier because everybody loves calling something lust when feelings would be inconvenient. We're just attracted to each other. Yeah, okay. We're just having fun. Mm hmm. Doesn't mean anything. Sure. That's what you need to tell yourself. Then why the hell are you jealous? Hmm? Why did your stomach drop when somebody else flirted with them? Why are you wondering who they're with when they're not laying next to you? Why does spending the night feel different? Why do you know what kind of coffee they want in the morning? Why are y'all talking about your childhood at 2 o'clock in the morning? Why are you laying there laughing together after everything calms down? Why are you texting? Did you make it home? Oh, mm, because somewhere along the way, this stopped being purely physical. Now you got a problem because the person who was supposed to be the forbidden fruit starting to feel like comfort. So here's tonight's after dark question. Don't answer me, answer yourself. If there were no consequences, would you? If nobody would find out, if nobody would get hurt, if there were no friendships to consider, no complicated history, no expectations tomorrow, no guilt, no judgment, no fallout, just you, them, and the opportunity to finally stop stopping and let it happen. Let that man take you down. Would you? Yeah, that's what I thought. And before somebody comes for me, remember what I admitted earlier? I'm asking myself the same damn questions. And that's why certain people are dangerous and that damn man is dangerous. That's all I'm going to say. And not because they forced you toward a boundary, not because you don't have control, but because somewhere inside of you, not literally, a feeling inside you, you already know what you want. You want that person's hands, lips, mouth. You want them all over your body, all over you, in you, top of you. Ooh, let me stop. The boundary is the only thing standing between desire and decision. Mm. So maybe the two of you have never had intercourse. Maybe y'all never had sex. Fine. That statement can be completely true, but don't use it to erase everything else. You are sexually involved. You're intimate. You're damn sure attractive to him. And depending on the circumstances, ooh, y'all may be emotionally playing with fire. But every time you say, shit, this the last time and I'm done. Your ass end up right back in their bed. You're making another decision. Maybe one day you'll actually stop. Maybe one day you'll cross that final boundary. Maybe one day you'll realize you want something real. Maybe circumstances that made this forbidden will eventually change. Or maybe you'll finally understand that some chemistry is better experienced as the fantasy that it is than turning it into an actual relationship. But whatever happens, stop pretending nothing is happening. If his hands ain't been on you, in you, if his mouth ain't been on you, your mouth has been on him. Oh, something is definitely happening. I said it. Because, baby, y'all have been doing everything except make this thing you've decided official. Okay? And maybe that's enough for you. No judgment. That's your boundary. But don't confuse technicality with innocence. Okay? Now, tonight I'm leaving you with one question. Not, have you had sex? Nah, that's too damn easy. I want to know, how intimate can two people become? And I mean physically intimate with each other in the same room, touching, kissing, rubbing, whatever. Can two people become before we haven't had sex stops meaning what they think it means? Because sometimes the most dangerous relationship, it isn't the one you completely give into. But sometimes it's the one where you keep getting right to the edge and convincing yourself that stopping there still means you're safe. And if you're listening to this episode, beside somebody you're absolutely not supposed to be beside right now, ooh, I'm minding my business. And if you spent this entire episode thinking about that one particular person, that one person whose name popped into your head during a cold opening and never left, do me a favor, put the damn phone down. Don't text them. Don't call them. And whatever you do not send come over. Damn, or at least wait till the last card comes through the screen. Wait till the credits finish rolling before you do, okay? Hey y'all, I'm Jay. And this has been The Corner with Jay After Dark, where we're grown enough to talk about the things everybody else whispers about. I will see y'all next Friday. Good night. Ooh, and behave yourselves or shit. Don't. Until next time, loves.